Hi everyone and welcome to this interview. Today I'm honored to speak to Hassan Haider. He has an outstanding curriculum. He has a doctorate in Mediterranean Studies and has taken several seminars regarding the Middle East conflict. So thank you for your time and today so that we can start, where are you from?
Well, first of all, thank you for coming here. It's my honor. Well, to have you as my student and you were my class in geopolitics. This is that's a land. It's a small land of the Arab world in Mexico. In my office, I'm Al Hassan Haider. Well, so the Arab name is Al Hassan bin Ahmed bin Muhammad Haider. I'm from the Middle East. I'm from Syria, and yeah.
Okay, so for you being a Syrian, it must be really hard to acknowledge all that has been happening back and forth regarding the Middle East conflict. So I want to know from your own perspective, what do you think about all of this? So everybody know what ISIS is,
Exactly.
but how did it become so powerful and what does ISIS call itself a caliphate?
Okay, well, this is first of all where we understand since almost like 60 years the Middle East have been in these kind of conflicts. It's not really something new for the Middle East. So first of all, we have the conflicts between Israeli and Palestinian, and after that we have some conflicts happening in the 1980 between Iraq and Iran, and later we have the case of the war of the Persian Gulf in 1991 against Saddam Hussein, and after that we have the case of the intervention of W. Bush, that stupid guy, to Iraq in 2003, and later we have the case of the Arab Spring in 2010, 2011, and right now we have this problem with the ISIS. For me, ISIS is the daughter of Al Qaeda. What does mean that? Al Qaeda was the mother. Al Qaeda did some. Do you remember this classical geopolitics? Well, attacking U.S. Interest in the world, like in sometimes in Yemen, sometimes in Afghanistan, and sometimes in Central Africa. But with ISIS, in the first time, these kind of group were able to create a state. This is the big difference. This is the high level of a threat. Those guys, those leaders, they were able to create a state, to create a capital, and not only like this, to have somebody to support them, and somebody is looking to go and to work and to fight with them.
Okay. But what is it that ISIS wants? Like,
Okay. Well,
what's the
this is
reason?
well. Okay. We have to target. The first target, like, is for like a propaganda. They want to expand Sharia, which is the Islamic law, to expand Sharia in all the world. If you go to the internet and you start like looking for the goal of ISIS, you can find all the world is a black color because they want to expand the Islam and the Islamic law in all the world. But it's impossible. Well, believe me, some leaders of ISIS, or we call them Daesh, they understand it's impossible to do that, but they need to have this kind of speech because they want to have more like legitimize on front of their people. So the goal in general to expand the caliphate, expand the Islam, expand the Islamic law, but it's impossible. But this is in general. But in my opinion, the specific goal of ISIS or Daesh in the Middle East is to expand the terror, and at the same time to divide the society in the Middle East and also in Europe. So the idea is the only way to expand this idea or to reach this goal is through like bomb attacks, through some remove some like cities, like for example in Iraq, in Syria. So the idea of them, okay, we can able to approach, or we can able to have our goals through the terror and the violence. And this is my opinion.
Okay. So I think many people from the audience may want to know, like, why is it that many people is joining ISIS? Because they're attacking like civilians, they're attacking innocent people.
Correct.
Why is that?
Well, this is first of all, in my opinion, we have two land for ISIS. The first land is the Middle East. The second land is like Europe land, all the westerns. Let's go to the first land. ISIS, since 2010, 2011, we have in the great moment because all of those countries, Iraq and Syria, they are unstable countries, underdeveloped country, dictatorships, in the same time, no democracy. So, and we have the failed state, which means like many places in Iraq, the government of Iraq were not able to control those places. And also in Syria with civil war. So with the civil war, with all of these chaos in the Middle East, and mainly in Iraq and Syria, it was the great moment for who? For ISIS. Let's go there and let's go to create these kind of state. This isn't the case of the Middle East. So we have in the Middle East political problem, economic problem, those kind of youth from like people or like young people in the Middle East, no job, no opportunity. So ISIS really easy for them to tell them, join with me, be with me. I'm going to help you to find your dream. This is in the Middle East. Let's go to Europe. Well, in Europe, this is very easy. Those kind of people, it's about like almost like more than 40,000 people from Europe in general. They move from Europe to go to where? To ISIS and to fight with ISIS because they didn't have any identity. Well, this is the idea. Sometimes of those, this is third generation. Because let's go example of Belgium. Some people of Belgium or some girls in Belgium, they say, okay, who am I? Because like her grandfather, he was from Algerian. He moved to Belgium in 1930. Her dad was born in Belgium. She was born in Belgium, but all the time she didn't fall like she's from Belgium, because they say the color or like the accent, or because she's a Muslim for different reason. So at the same times, sometimes they decide to go to Algeria, and they went to Algeria, and in Algeria they start, hey, who am I? The people in Algeria, they tell them, no, you are not from here. You are from Belgium. So she's not from Belgium. She's not from Algeria. In that moment, they tell them, you are not from Algeria. You're not from Belgium. You are from my state. So I am going to give you the identity. I'm going to give you who are you, and welcome. This is the idea. Welcome. And this state is not only for black, white, for for Arabs, for Persian, for all.
It's for everyone.
Just only to be Muslim, bienvenido, and welcome in my state.
Okay, and I want to know, like, from your own perspective, since you're an Arab and a Muslim too, how do you feel whenever you turn on the news and you hear attacks, for instance, Paris or Belgium? It must be hard.
Yeah, but believe me, we used to be in that. Yeah, so today in my class, I brought it to them. Oh, this is my stuff. This is Schmach. Yeah, this is Schmach. So this is Schmach. Yeah, hello. So it is normal. Believe me, we use it that. We use that. It's not from right now. It's from like exactly after 2001. Everything changed for Arabs. Everything changed for people like they are from the Middle East, because like did you see this like video in the class, like mochila bomba like this, and that kind of guy. They throw some like una mochila in some places, and people, but that guy he have like the Arab clothes, so people, wow, what's going on here? So it's not only right now we have this is kind of like stereotypes, because Arabs mean terrorists, mean bring problems, or mean they like to fight, or like they like to jihad. This is after 2001, and this is normal for the Western. All the time they need enemies. If no enemies, no justifying of the war. How come that? During the Cold War, well, let's go with this. In the Second War, we have the Nazis. That's correct. But during the Cold War, it was the communists. The enemies, it was communists. Nobody talked about like Muslims or Arabs. After the Cold War, which means no more communists, no more like red threat, they started about the Islamic threat. Well, this is some strategy to justify your spend, to justify your action, and to maybe like more able to control your own people, and nobody is going to tell you what are you doing. Well, this is the case of Iraq in 2002, 2003, when W. Bush he went to Iraq. So they told him, I'm going to Iraq to defeat Saddam Hussein, because Saddam Hussein has a nuclear weapon. Saddam Hussein is supporting Al Qaeda, but it was like Mentiras. So this is the way. Just make the people, you have one enemy and you trust your leader. Do what you want to do to protect me. So for me, like for many Arab people, they used to be that like this.
So they're already get used to that.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard, but that's okay. They give them like well, they give us like very famous nicknames. But yeah, this is believe me, it's not normal. It's not like right now. It's not only like since 2011 or 14 with ISIS. It's since 2001 after the 9/11.
Okay. And after I read your resume, I think that you're very specialized in this topic. But from your own opinion, who do you think is responsible for ISIS, and how did the world let this happen?
Yeah, we have okay. Well, this is really it's a hard question to answer, but this is my opinion. Number one, the people in the Middle East. People in the Middle East, they have like certain like responsibility to leave those guys to create this kind of like threat. People there, people under the control of ISIS, they have to stand up. They have to rise against ISIS. It's number one. So people there, they have some like something to do against ISIS. Number one. Number two, in my opinion, this is of the propaganda. This is the kind of a propaganda against the religion, against everyone that come from there. It mainly is come from the Western. So in my opinion, the Western have another like responsibility what's happening right now in the Middle East. And mainly, in my opinion, it's just like to try to make this kind of like a connect this type of connection like really like a true connection with the Middle East, but without interest. Well, this is the problem in the Middle East. Many people in the Middle East, they think the Westerns, I'm talking about like European Union and US, they want something from the Middle East, not because we are handsome, not because we are smart. They want something about natural resource and mainly the oil. This is the point. If we want to finish with those crazy guys, ISIS or Daesh, the Western have to be really honest to create like bridge of culture and connection without interest. Just make those people or convince those people, I am here, I want to help you, I want to make this kind of relationship, not because you have the oil or not because you have a geostrategic place in the world. So people in the Middle East and also well the Westerns government, the Westerns elites, political leaders.
Okay. So we're approaching towards the end of this interview, but I want to know, where are the Arabs against ISIS?
Why?
Where are?
Yeah, believe me, if you told me, I think at least then 1% of Arab they support like ISIS or Daesh. We have to understand. If you tell me how many people they are with ISIS right now, it's about 200,000, like fighters. 100,000 they are from the Westerns. Those guys that was born in the Western, they have no identity. They have no idea who they are then. So, but believe me, I'm 100%. Least 1% of Arab people they are not agree with ISIS. But if ISIS control this land, because he controlled this land by the hard power, people there they are really scared. They don't want to race against ISIS because they know if they're going to say anything, which means going to die. So believe me, many people in the Arab world they are not agree with ISIS, and believe me, like the first damage of ISIS is over. It's over Arab people in the Middle East. People like Christian, Jew, Christian and Muslims. So in my opinion, yeah, for me, like ISIS is not. It is not something like to say is the best of. It was the best of we have in the Middle East. I think the wars, and we understand this is a hard threat, and it's not easy to finish it. We have to understand this kind of like a smart threat. If you told me Daesh is a smart threat, and many times I told them is a smart hunters, which means they know how to catch the great moment to expand or to bring some like people with them.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I hope you all had a pleasant time. Thank you very much, Al Hassan.
Thank you. Shukran.